So in today's class, what we are going to cover, the topic is projection of solids. Okay, and with respect to this, few definitions are going to be there. So as per the definition, the group solids are classified into two groups. The difference between that is the group A covers the solid in which top and base are having same shapes. Okay, this one, and the other group is having that top and bottom are having different shapes. With respect to that, the base can have any type of shape that may be rectangle, pentagon, hexagon, octagon. But when we are going to extend line with the intersection of two lines at a point, and when we are going to extend in the vertical direction, so we got an apex point. What is an apex point? If we have a rectangle over here, and if we are going to create an inclined line from these points, and at a certain point we are going to get an intersection of these four lines. So the point or the junction at which we got this intersection, this is the point which is called as apex point. Okay, this point is called apex point. Okay, so with respect to that, group A considers that type of object which is having a top and bottom surface of equal shape. So these are the examples in the form of cylinders and prism in which we can do this part. And with respect to the other solids also, and in the other group which is having a shape at the base and got an apex point at the top. So these are the few cases of that part and images of that part. So triangular, pentagon, hexagon, the shape of or the component that we are using in both groups are same, but with respect to the lines which we are going to draw in the vertical direction, we got an apex point in case of group B category, and in case of group A category, whatever we have the shape in base, we have the same shape at the top also. Okay, so if we are going to do the same part for category B in 3D, so this is tetrahedron in which we have a shape of triangle at the base and we got an apex point at the top. If we see the example in a practical phase, so there are several paperweights which are created in the form of this tetrahedron. So these are two categories based on which we can classify that the solid are categorized in two categories. After that, there are few things which are we need require to different dimensional parameters of different solids. So these are the different parts of solids which we have, that is square prism, square pyramid, cylinder and cylinder cone. Okay. So these are the different names of the faces: corner of the base, edge of the base. These are just different names of the component. See, whenever why this is actually necessary for studying the position of solid, because as we are using these type of products in our daily life, just as a sweet box or the mobile box which we have, or different types of steel component which we have just as a tiffin. So in that case, these products are made with the help of sheet metal component. So for that part, we need to buy material, whatever the shape of the component that may be of such type. So in that case, we have to calculate the amount of material which is required to manufacture that part. So in that case, we can expand these component in with the help of these things, and we can easily calculate that what amount of material we need to buy for manufacturing certain amount of product as per its design. Okay. So it is basically main criteria, that's why we are studying this topic. So with respect to that, in case of cylinder, if we are going to calculate that what amount of material which is going to be consumed, so what we are going to do, we are creating lines in a vertical direction of multiple the width, and with respect to that, when we are going to open with that part, so we can evaluate the amount of material that is going to be calculated. There is one more thing. Whenever we are going to use a solid part, such as if we are going to take an example of ice cream cone, we have a cylindrical face at the bottom, and we got an apex point at the top, and we got an apex point at the bottom, as we are going to handle that cone in our hands. Okay, hold that cone in our hands. With respect to that, there is one more category. If we are going to cut that solid with the help of a plane, And with respect to that, there are two categories. Section of solid is that if we are going to cut any solid component at at an inclination. Okay, so the left hand side images are showing that when we are going to cut any object and at inclined plane. Okay, whenever we are going to cut any solid object that is parallel to the base, then it is called as frustum of cone or frustum of solids. Whenever we are going to cut any solid at an inclined plane, that is called a section of solids. And whenever we are going to cut any solid that is parallel to the bottom of that is called a frustum of cone or frustum of pyramid, or whatever the shape of that component, and we are going to named as the frustum of that solid. Okay, if anyone is not able to understand these topics which I covered, please let me know so I can revise that part. Okay. Now, earlier, as we covered that whenever a plane which is going to be lying or standing or resting on any plane, similarly, in the case of projection of solids, we have the same scenario. In that case, whenever an object or whenever a solid which is going to be standing on HP, so this was the first case, this one. Okay, so this object is saying that whenever a pyramid is going to be standing on HP, so we got first such type of views. Okay, so if the other in this case, if we are going to check out that the axis is perpendicular to the HP and parallel to the VP with respect to this scenario. The other scenario is that whenever a object which is going to be resting on HP on one point of the base circle. So in this scenario, what is going to be do? First of all, we have to create such type of view, and then we have to make an inclination line at this point, and then rotate with the help of certain angle which is required to be created. Okay. So in this case, the axis is inclined on HP and parallel to VP. Okay. The next scenario is that lying on HP. So with respect to the any inclined surface which was there in that object, so that object can lie with the help of that, and in that scenario, axis is inclined to HP and parallel to VP. So these are three scenarios which can be happened with the help of in case of solids. There are other three scenarios which are also when these uh, different resting positions or standing position or lying position can be happen on VP. Okay. So similarly, when these things are going to be happen with respect to the VP, so this type of scenario can be happened. There's one more thing which I need to share, that when we are going to draw these things or when we are going to solve such assignments in our software, with respect to evaluating the amount of material which is going to be consumed, or with respect to the statement of the question, we need to draw an object. Earlier classes I shared few assumptions that whenever we got such scenarios in our problem statement, first of all we have to create the original position of that object in xy plane. After onwards, whatever the statement which is going to be written in the question, we have to follow that part. Okay, so my point is that whenever we are going to get such case scenarios, if we are going to consider this part, so whenever we are going to solve any question for this case scenario, first of all we have to draw this. Okay, this was the first assumption, that whenever a question of such statement is going to be solved that is resting on VP, first of all we have to create the original position of that object. After onwards we can solve for these statements that resting on VP or lying on VP. Okay. So please remember or keep this statement in your mind. We have to do such things. Okay. And did you got my point or not? Please let me know. anyone is facing any issue with respect to the points which I shared, is not able to understand, please let me know so I can repeat that part. Otherwise, I can proceed with the topics. Okay, maybe I think so it is fine. So with respect to that, these are the different scenarios which was shared in this slide. That is, whenever you need to solve any problem with respect to that, it is saying that an object is lying or standing in any case. So with respect to that, these are the different scenarios which can be happen with respect to different objects. So if we got an question in which that it was stated that an object which is of this size and height, then after onward it is inclined on VP or inclined on HP. With respect to that, we have to follow this procedure to solve such type of questions. Okay. In this case, the first original position of that object is going to be drawn. After onwards, whatever the condition which is written in the statement with respect to that, we have to draw such things. So with respect to that, this first part is regarding the cone. The second part is regarding the cylinder. Okay. So with respect to that other scenario, if the object is going to be inclined with respect to BP, so in this case, the axis is perpendicular to VP, but in the previous case, the axis is perpendicular to HP. Okay. So with respect to that, these are the different scenarios. Axis inclined to VP and axis to inclined to HP. So these are the few differences which you can observe from these slides. Okay. So please keep these things in your mind so this can help you in solving the question in the assignment which was shared after the class. Okay. So for this projection of solid, we are going to solve one problem in this PPT also and in the Autodesk software also. Okay. So the statement says that we have a square pyramid of such 40 millimeter base and side is base and axis is 60 meter long. Okay. And has a triangular face on the ground and a vertical plane containing that axis makes an angle of 45 degree with the VP. Draw its projection, take apex nearer to the VP. Okay. So this is the statement on the question. After onwards, these are the instructions that we have to follow or the steps which we have to follow for solving the question. I'm going to do this with the help of this animation. So with respect to that, it is saying that the square pyramid is around 40 millimeter base. So we have to keep a square, create a square of 40 millimeter base side, and then we have to mark points from these points. There is no necessity that you have to create this square near to the XY line. You can keep a distance for this, because when we are going to create the other scenario as per the statement, these drawings are going to intersect the XY line. So we have to maintain a distance from the XY line while creating these shapes on the software. With the help of the software, the advantage is that we can move the whole shape which we created in the AutoCAD. But in case of earlier sheets, this is very difficult to do such things, because if something is wrong, we need to erase that part and recreate that part again and again. Okay. So with respect to that, these are the markings whenever as per the standard, whenever we are going to create any top view on any plane, we are going to mark them as small a, b, c and d. After onwards, what we are going to do, we are going to create two diagonal lines within this square. The purpose of creating these diagonal lines, that we are getting an intersection point over here, and with respect to that, when we are going to extend or mark that at what point these lines are going to intersect, and when we are going to create these lines straightly, and we have to measure around 60 millimeter from here, and then what we are going to do, we are going to just join these lines to these apex points. So with the help of this, we can draw the front view of that part. So similarly, this thing going to be drawn, and with respect to that, whatever the points which we are, whatever the naming which we gave our object, we are going to do such things as in a similar fashion. Okay. So A, B, A dash, B dash, and C dash, D dash. Okay. So as we are going to draw this thing, the next step is that we have to keep the apex near to the VP. So in that case, it was also written that the vertical face of that object on the ground and the vertical plane containing that axis makes an angle of 45 degree. Okay, so first of all we have to make sure that we have to keep the triangular face on the ground. So in similar fashion, what we are going to do, whatever the angle of this, we have to measure angle of this. Okay, and we have to measure that part, and with respect to that, what we are going to do, we are going to rotate this triangle from here to here. Okay, and after onwards, what we are going to do, we are going to create vertical lines from here to here to here, and then after onward, what we are going to do, we are going to extend these lines also. Why we are doing this? With the help of this, we can find the common interaction between 2 points, and then with the help of which we can draw our object. I'm going to change the color of my marker. So with the help of this, so this is A and this is A. Okay. So this is going to be A1. This is D, and over here D, so this is D1. This is B, and with respect to that, this is B1, and this is C, and over here we are getting the C, so this is C1. So this was actually the base of the rectangle which we need to create, sorry, a square. So this is in the form of a rectangle, and with respect to that part of O, we are going to getting this intersection at this point. So we are going to draw lines from here to here to here, and so in such a manner, the top view of this inclined object, as per the statement that the triangular face is going to be knee on the ground. So this scenario is going to be solved. Okay. Now the animation is going to be carried out in a similar fashion. Now onward, what was the other statement, that the vertical plane containing that axis makes an angle of 45 degree with the VP. What we are going to do, we are going to rotate this part by creating an inclined line in 45 degree. Okay, 45 degree, and we have to do that part in similar fashion. Okay, and we are going to create vertical lines with the help of which we can create such drawings in similar fashion. Okay, the other case scenario which is going to be shown, so we can incline this pyramid in both fashions. The first scenario is this one, and the second scenario is this one. Okay, so these are the two scenarios with the help of which we can create the final shape of our question statement. Okay, is there anyone who is not understand this question which as per the statement, so I can repeat or resolve your issue? Otherwise, I'm going to showcase you how this can be drawn on the Autodesk software. This show that you are getting all the whatever I need, I need to share with you all. Okay, Omi, are you getting my point with respect to the lecture? Okay, thank you. So I'm going to stop sharing in a moment, and then going to share with my Autodesk software screen. So with respect to that, we can. Okay. So now I'm sharing my screen again. Okay. Now I'm going to use the Autodesk software. How this can be drawn. So this is the Autodesk software. I'm going to off my grid lines tool, and then first of all, whenever you are going to create these things, you have to make sure that what length we are going to be created of XY line. So with respect to that, as we know that this distance is around 40 millimeter, and when if we need to create this axis, this is going to be 60 millimeter, and again we are going to create this part as 60 millimeter. So 60, 61, 20, and plus 40 around uh, 160, and then we have to maintain a gap of as our required shape. So I'm going to maintain a gap of 30. So we are going to maintain a gap of 30 between these sides and these sides. Okay, so around 160 is already there, and I'm going to add 60. So around 220 length line is going to be created. So I'm going to create a line of 220. We can extend this line by after onwards if we don't need that part. Z, enter, E, enter. So this line is going to be come within the screen. Okay, while showcasing the tools of this AutoCAD software, anyone need to ask any question, please do that part. Okay, this will help us in understanding the problem. After onwards, what we are going to do, we are going to create a rectangle. See, while solving these problems, you can create shape anywhere as you required. After onward, what you can do, you can move that shape to our predefined location. So with respect to that, I'm going to create a rectangle of 40. So what you can do, you have to write 40, then tab 40. So this rectangle is created. After onwards, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this rectangle as per my requirement. So I select this. I write M for activating the move command. Then it asks about to select the object. Then press enter. Then it asks about from which origin point you want to pick or move that object. So I am going to pick this point, and I am going to off my ortho this part. Okay, this tool. So it helps me in moving in an inclined fashion. Okay, so in such a manner we can move our object from one location to another. After onwards, what is required, we can need to create a diagonal for getting the intersection where we need to create or extends our line from the corner. So with respect to that, I am going to create diagonal lines. So line command from over here to here, then again press enter. See, for ending or any command, what you need to do, you need to press enter or space bar in case of this software. Afterwards, what we need to do, I am going to create a line from this point, which may be of rough around 120 millimeter. And then what I am going to do, or if you need to create a correct dimension of 60 millimeter, then what you can do, line command. As we have already activated the polar tracking part, so we can get this intersection over here, then activating my ortho option and 60. Okay, afterwards what we can do, line command, then going to got the intersection point and then turn off my ortho from here. So this helps in creating the inclined line. So this was the inclined line, and with respect to that, this. Okay, and then press enter. So this is the first section of my question, this one, this part which is I already completed. Anyone needs to repeat any tool till this time, please ask, so I can showcase you how that is done. Okay, anyone? Okay, it might show that you are getting whatever I need to share. Afterwards, what we are going to do, we are going to name them at last. Okay, and before that, what I need to do, I need to measure the angle between these sides. Okay, so this is around 109. Okay, so what I need to do, I can create a copy of this part. So CO is the tool. Then select all part, then enter, then pick any location from where you want to create a copy. Okay, and then again press enter. So you can create multiple copies as per requirement. Other thing is that I need to rotate. So I can do by this rotate tool, select object, then press enter, then click wherever you want, or see if I am going to put a value of 109. Actually it is going to be anti-clockwise, that's why this happens. So we need to rotate. So RO, rotate, select object, then press enter. This is wrong something. We need to draw again, or we can get an idea how this can be done. Please wait for a moment. Okay. So with respect to that, as we know, we are going to, whenever we are going to rotate with respect to this part, so we need an angle. So in terms of that, we have to calculate that part. So I am going to calculate that on piece of paper manually. Okay, then I let you know how this can be done. Actually, this is happening because there may be some angle issue. With respect to that, I'm going to draw one more pyramid having a base of 40. Ortho option is on 40. I'm going to create a line. Line. You turn off the ortho. R move. Maybe the angle measurement is wrong, that's why this is happening actually. Actually this is 108 this side. This is something wrong. This line may be created at wrong position. See, you can see that if we are going to be wrong by only 1 degree, this is going to be happen. Okay. So what we are going to do, we are going to rotate by 108 degrees. RO, rotate, select object, then press, then 108 degree. Okay, then we are going to move this rectangle from here to here. I think so this straight line is going to be wrong. So we are going to try again. Line command. creating a line of 250, and then I'm going to move, select object. So this is some issue with respect to that. MI mirror, move, this may be due to some angle issue, that's why this is happening. So we are going to move this part to here. We are just make sure that what was the angle with respect to the object. Okay. We are just checking that how this can be done. So with respect to that, I am going to draw lines for getting the intersection points. Just wait for a moment. You can also try this problem at your desk also while solving this problem. This will help you. Okay. Please take the screenshot. I am going to share a screenshot in your WhatsApp. So this will help you in drawing the same. So try out your systems also. Okay. So with respect to that, when we are going to create these vertical lines, so we got an intersection. So with the help of these lines, you can create. You have to turn off ortho. This will help you in joining the lines. Then what you need to do, you need to just trim tool twice, press enter for writing trim, and then so in this fashion we got our object as required. Okay. See, when any line is having only one end with respect to that object, so with respect to that we have to trim remaining parts, and you can see over here that when a line is having only one end which is hinged at the other side, so that part is going not to be trimmed, so that part is going to be deleted. So in similar fashion, what we need to do, we have to create this. So we got this part, and if we are going to write naming with respect to that, we are going to create a rectangle of this. You can increase the text size also. This is A, sorry. 4, then press enter. Then A, then close. We can move over here. We can copy a particular thing which we draw. So CO, select object. Actually, we need to escape because the whole object is copied. CO, copy, select object, then press again enter. Origin point. You can place as per your requirement. After not, what we need to do, we can edit that part by double click. So A, this is D. By double clicking, you can edit that part. Okay. B and C. See. So in such a manner, you can do these things. Okay. Afterwards, what we need to draw, we have to rotate this part by 45 degree. So what we can do, you need to create a line of 45 degree. With respect to that, as I told you that this software takes the angles in this circular fashion. So with respect to this is 180 and this is around 45 degree. So we are going to add that dimension. So 180 plus 45, it is around 225. And we need to draw a line of length that is going to be around 70 or 80 millimeter. So shift at the rate 80 millimeter length and 225 is the angle. So this line is going to be created. I think so this is understandable with you all. And then after onwards, what you need to do, you need to rotate by 45 degree this object. So R, first we need to create a copy. CO, copy from here to here, and then RO, rotate, select object, select this point, and then at 45 degree. Okay, then move, select complete object. This was left actually. Then press enter. Then click the end point and then place the location which you need to draw. So see, with the help of these software, we can reduce our time which is required for creating these shapes or solving these problems. After not, what we need to do, we need to draw lines vertically. These are the lines which we got. Okay, we need to create these lines. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to just increase the lines with respect to that line command. Afterwards, if we are going to name them, this will help us in identifying that which point is which one. So with respect to that, we are going to name them at last. So CO copy, sorry, CO copy, select object. While putting the dimension, you can zoom in, zoom out as per requirement, which helps you in not in putting pressure on your eyes. As per your necessity, you can zoom in, zoom out at these locations. So this is very easy to do such things by putting names. What we can do, by doing this and then select, then you can put this part, so it helps you in D1. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to delete these. So CO, copy, select, double click, and select C, Control Z. Actually it is completely select, that's why this happens. So C, B, and this one is A. This line is not also required over here. We are going to delete this part. A, B. This is actually B only. B. This is C, D. Okay, when we are going to rotate the A, B part, sorry, A dash, B dash, na? A dash, B dash. You don't need this angle right now. And C dash. This dash part is already available within our keyboard. This O dash, sorry, O dash. We also have O here, so we are going to copy this once again. We are going to place this O here, double click, O. So in such a manner you can create these drawings, and we are going to write down over here, that is C dash, D dash, and this is A dash and B dash. Okay, so in similar fashion this is happened. After what we are going to do, we have to just write naming these things. So delete, 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 delete. This is actually O1, select one, and then prefix. Okay, so this is going to be happening in such a fashion. Select, by pressing twice enter, what you can do, you can pick that part and then zoom it. If you are going to press again twice enter, so this is going to happen in a very easy manner. And zoom in, zoom out, which helps you in locating the naming tool. Okay, so this will help us in identifying which name which was going to be intersecting at which point. So with respect to that, this is C, D and D, so this may be D dash. So C, O, there is one intersection over here. D and D, okay, this one is going to be happen over here. So A and A, So this is going to be come over here, and B and B. So this comes over here. So this is going to be happening in such a manner. So this is A1 dash B1 dash. So over here D and D. So this is going to be D1 dash. Okay. After onwards, this is actually A and A. So it is going to be A1 dash. Similarly, B, I am going to delete this twice B. So B and B. So this is going to be B1 dash. Okay. And then what is going to be C and C. So this is going to be E1 dash. Okay. So this is the rectangle, and we are just only need to join this to this and C and C. So this C and C. Okay, then trim. At last part, what we need to do, we need to just trim the unnecessary part which is there. Okay. So this is the rectangle which we got, and after onwards, if we are going to draw a line, so this is the line which we need to require. Okay. Afterwards, the few things are left only. We already named all of them. And there's O1 dash is over. So we are going to do what we CO, copy tool, select object, click over here, click over there. Also zoom in, and I'm going to place over this, and this is going to be deleted. This is O1. Okay, this is O1. It's correct, and this is O1 dash. Okay. And last, what we need to do, we are just need to trim this part, and if something is not going to be trimmed, that is going to be deleted. There's one student who is actually somehow turn on his mic. I got few. This is Kola Chaitanya. Thank you. So in such a fashion, you can create these drawings. There's one more thing. This line is not required over here. So in such fashion, you can create these drawings. Okay, if anyone needs to repeat any tool, please let me know. Anyone? Should I switch to list of students, or anyone please ask? If all the tools which I shared in solving this question, if you got these things, that is very good. There's one more thing left. As we are going to see that the drawing have some dash lines. So with respect to that, what we can do, we are going to, sorry, okay. We are going to layers. Okay, in that case, we have layers over here. Hold a second. This one. So we are going to what to do? Properties. D D dimension style manager. See, for doing that part, what we need to do, we need to add some layers over here. If you are going to click on this over here, you got this. So you have to click on others. What we need to do, we need to add few lines which is happening, which is having that property. So with respect to that, what we are going to click load, then ISO dash or what we need to do, we can do this part and then select this part. Okay. Now after not, what you need to do, if you need to create any line of such category, that this one, so what we need to do, we need to select this line and then go to properties and then select that part. That actually very gap. With respect to that, what we can do, we can go to again load properties. Actually that tool is selected, that's why is happening. Actually my escape button is not working, that's why it is happening. Load, then we can select this. Okay, ISO dash, then select this line, go to properties, select other category. So in such a manner you can do this part. Okay, so in similar fashion you can do such things. The one thing which I need to share, if we need to match properties with respect to one to another, what you're going to do, you can select the properties which you allocate a particular line and go to click and select match properties, and what you need to do, you just need to click on that lines, so you can apply that property to other lines also. These are the other lines. So this is one, and what we need to do, we need to make these lines of such type, of this type. So this is actually center line. So what we need to do, we need to go to properties, others, and then you need to click on it, and then it's center line. Okay, which is of we have to check this line. So this was the line, this is the line actually, ISO dash. Okay, then okay, then select these lines of such types, select this part, go to click over here, this is this one, and then if you need to match property of multiple line, then what you need to do, you need just to click, select, select, and then select. Actually two lines, I think so. There are two lines, that's why there's one line which is having, because we have this one line also and this inclined line which we created at 45 degrees. So this is how we can create these drawings in the software. Anyone who is facing need to ask any tool with respect to this? Dhanunjaya? Dhanunjaya?